Alright, welcome to a sort of a tech video where Fox and I will just go through a matchup where I think Fox has a lot of strong opinions. Welcome aboard, Fox.
How's it going, Kev?
Yeah, it's alright, Just beating up on some other poor Dreadstill players, or not Dreadstill, but Dreadnought players.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those watching, if you go look at the challenge results, it would have been April 1st, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the Dreadnought deck that the opponent is on, the Stiflenought deck, in those finishes for that challenge on 4-1.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice to see fellow Dreadnought players do well. I mean, better them than some other stuff. But let's...
Yeah. There's one issue with that, though, right? That I always kind of like bring up with the Stiflenought stuff is I want you guys to keep tally of the price of their dual lands. And I want you to understand that Dreadnought is a $100 card. And just imagine how much money they are asking for people to pony up just to play a Dreadnought deck.
Sure.
And I get just off about this because our new players come from budget because we have a real way to play Legacy off of one duel and even off of 0 duels.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really dislike decks with Dreadnought that are not competitive and also say, hey, you need $4,000 to play that when it's just a gross misrepresentation of how to play well.
Yeah, yeah. No, I guess that's fair. And we do want to see more Legacy players, not less. And the mana bases some people use is just ridiculously expensive. Alright, so let's have a look. And we are on the draw, and we do not know what we're up against. You joined me first at the second game, but so I did the first one on my own. So it's a fine keepable hand. So
yeah, this is an aggressive Vista crack if we're on the play, grabbing a blue.
Mm-hmm. So he taps out. So
and this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
They're a Stifle deck. They just tapped out a Stifle. Understand that we do not play Ponder with Stifle, like step 1.
Yeah. Yeah, because they are competing for the same turn 1 play, yeah. So more swords, not great. At this point, I didn't crack. That was horrible.
Yeah, so we have to be a little bit more aggressive about cracking.
Yeah, I think Underground Sea Ponder makes me think Storm. I don't know.
Right, but it's still a match where you want to have a basic island, right?
Yeah.
That Vista.
Yeah. So I just play the
so at this point,
Strand.
you're just playing the hold up Stifle game in the blind.
So it's a very defensive start. He misses a land drop.
And so just for everyone watching, I just want everyone to recognize that they probably have Stifle in hand.
Mm-hmm.
They can fetch out a Volcanic Island, and they almost certainly have an Expressive Iteration in hand, and they just can't cast anything because, again, they don't have a real plan.
And he might even be holding back his Wastelands just to surprise.
Tundra's fine. He can set up a Stifle trap on the Wasteland.
That's what I thought, and that's what happens as well. So sure, if you want to fight over this is fine. We have more lands.
Mm-hmm.
So Teferi.
So I still don't play it here. What you're saying that you're playing a Stifle game now. You've seen Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a Plains pass.
Okay. I go for the Teferi in this scenario.
Yeah, this probably gets one of your lands stifled. Or they just have nothing.
They have nothing. I don't know what they have. Okay. Fine. And he dazes. And I pay for it.
Cracker Patch. Probably, let's see, considering getting a second basic Plains there because you're saying Verdict.
Yes.
What they're showing you is a Delvery thing, right? You want to be
Mm-hmm.
able to verdict them.
I felt kind of safe with both the Savins and the two swords, so I
Yeah.
figured, I am not in a rush for it.
Yeah, and so what they've done here really quickly is they've wasted both their dazes, so you know that your forces are good.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also set themselves back a land, so they can't even Expressive Iteration, which you know is in their hand, because Expressive Iteration is not a very good Magic card.
Yeah.
And
So
so here comes, yeah, Savines to parry.
yeah. So
And like
that's
honestly, if they're gonna Force of Will this, I would let it go. Because it's game one, I would go plus.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this
You guys
Teferi
skillfully
sits.
tap down our Tundra,
Yeah.
which is the correct move.
And here comes the ponder. Sure. You can ponder all you want. It doesn't really.
And for those watching this ponder and who think this is a good Magic card, please understand that the only thing he can ever ponder for is a Dreadnought, is to 2-for-1 himself.
Mm-hmm. And he goes for a dragon, which I kill because I still don't know exactly what he's on because I haven't seen anything else. So I'm thinking, oh well, this could be some sort of Grixis Delver weird stuff.
Yeah, and so this is the right move, right? You're getting your plow while you know it's protected. They don't have Pyroblast. You
Yeah.
gotta keep up taking the fairy. Yeah, so they should never have any say in this game.
So I just jammed the standstill and say,
You
alright.
need to tap the Tundra, but other than that, I agree with it. We need to uptick the there we go.
So now it's your turn, opponents. We'll see what you do. So he cracks it for an iteration, sure. 3 cards for us.
Expressive Iteration result. It's not a good Magic card.
Yeah.
All you can do is play guys into removal and tap out of a relevant interaction.
And he played the Delta before. And yet another ponder. Sure.
Yeah.
Do whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he gonna find?
I have no idea. And now we can resolve a Karn on him.
Yeah, and what I decide to do here, and hear me out, I figured, this is such a winning position, so I'm just gonna keep my options open. I have the Savines, I have the swords, I have the dragon. I figured, maybe I wanna, because I thought he might be playing lightning bolt still, and I don't wanna down tick Karn and not be able to get any value. So I figured.
On this board position, we would just uptick a Karn for just out of bolt range.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Karn is I think all paths lead to victory. I think that getting an instant speed Savines is amazing. I think that resolving a Karn and upticking is amazing. I think that a Timeless Dragon hardcast is also just amazing.
Yeah, and also now I can keep up the Force of Will hardcast as well, which is nice.
Yeah, we got the double force.
Yeah, so I figured, I have more options doing this, but I hear ya. I was thinking a bit about it, but in the end I decided to go for this.
So they're trying to like press down double Dreadnought here or something?
Here comes the Scroll of Fate, and I'm like, what the hell? So I forced this.
I wouldn't have forced that.
Okay.
Because you've got Karn wishing for... Cool, Karn shuts it down. And then you just allow their guy that they manifest. It's like, okay, I have a Teferi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you used your mana. That's fine.
Caracas, fine. Play it, and another turn of passing it and seeing what's up. And I'm kind of thinking, well, let's just get back a standstill and dragon him to death. Here comes the Dreadstill.
Okay, so now with that on the stack, especially with Scroll of Fate, that's when you get your Savines back, and here's where you're getting back your standstill.
Okay.
And your land. Yeah, and you're saying, just go ahead and cast your Dreadnought or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll draw 3.
And plays a Croxa. And here I for some reason I plow it instead of bouncing it, which I should have done, of course. Yeah. For some reason I plow it. It's just such a commanding position, so I think whatever I do, it doesn't matter. But still. So Savines back, Standstill and a Hall of Storm Giants.
Yeah, seems good to me.
Yeah. I don't think I can lose from this position. Now it's more of a time management.
Yep. And now you're just cast Karn. Or Dragon. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, sorry. You have Standstill in play.
Yeah. So I get back a dragon token.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bounce you were going to bounce Standstill and do some stuff.
And kills the hull. I get a Shark Typhoon down, and this game just ends. He doesn't do anything else. Just trying to waste my clock a little bit. Which I
so
guess
maybe the optimization, right? Is Karn should have come down, or the Dragon Hardcast should have come down on that one turn where we didn't really use our mana.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were never getting back into this game.
No. And I mean, now the clock is real. And if it does something, he gives me a lot of cards. And if not, And here we have another dragon. And I decide to not use it in case he has some sort of weird sweeper.
You're also not going to use it because of your lands. You've already played Cycle.
Yeah, definitely. And here it ends. So that was pretty convincing. The Teferi really made short work of him, and his deck was just cantrips doing nothing.
No, cantrips tapping him out of Stifle.
Yeah. So then for game 2, you join me, and we have a pretty interesting one. Well, a little bit interesting anyway.
I think it's fun. This is a fun game.
Yeah.
Because this is an opponent who doesn't actually realize that this is a mirror match. This is a Dreadnought mirror. And they just are completely oblivious.
Mm-hmm. So, should we talk a little bit about sideboarding choices?
Yeah, we can do that.
So what did we bring in, and what did we bring out?
Let's see, we did 2 Ashioks. We did a...
Humility?
The Relic thing, the Relic of Virginitas.
Yeah.
And there was something else we did.
Humility,
right.
Mm-hmm. And we brought out the Forces, a Brainstorm, and something else.
And a Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Yeah, Dreadnought, yeah. And this is a fine hand.
Yeah, this is a great hand.
Yeah, has a little bit.
A lot of land drops. We have an Odawara.
Yeah.
We got a lot of technology.
And hopefully we don't have to use the Otavara as a land drop.
Yep, and so here we know the opponent's on a Stifle deck, so we're making them hold up their Stifle and waste their mana.
Yeah, for sure. So play the Plains probably, and Wasteland. But we still go for the Plains.
Yeah, and again, you don't want to Wasteland them. Most people will screw up with the Wasteland. They'll play it, immediately activate, let them cash in a Stifle on your turn, and not even deny them a mana. But Wasteland is much better as a card that says, that they can't daze us, because we also know they play that.
So here, would you ever consider forcing an expressive iteration?
Not in a million years.
Explain. What is your thinking here? I mean, I agree with you.
He tapped out a red elemental blast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. The main thing I want to do here, and I don't think we did, but the main thing we need to do is crack a fetch and get our blue, right? So we can't get a blue land and stifle us. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, I don't care. His only extra card could be a land that isn't going to deny us mana. Because we have basics.
Sure.
And what else is he going to cast a cantrip? Put a red in his hand?
Yeah, what we should have done here is, of course, crack the fetch, which we didn't, but it didn't matter. I think he plays a Wasteland or something stupid. No, a turn.
No, he tries to do this and he tries to crack it, and now we get our...
And here you advise me to Brainstorm straight away, just to find the second blue.
Efficiency. Yeah, they can't red blast it.
Yeah.
They can't do anything about it. We just want to get it out of our hands.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, and so for all those legacy gamers who are like, oh, what do I put back and shuffle away? You just draw them all.
Yeah.
Because your hand's perfect.
Exactly.
That is the perfect Brainstorm, the one you don't need to shuffle.
Yeah. And here we do not play the Ashiok into a
right.
into a
Because
daze.
lands are more valuable.
Mm-hmm. So we just jammed the Standstill, kind of hoping for him to.
It's also very important that you're leaving up Wasteland, because
Yeah.
you're saying that even if you have Wasteland to try and put us back into Daze range will cost you a mana. So that whole card that you went up when you played your Expressive Iteration is going to be lost.
Mm-hmm. So here comes a Narset, and we draw our cards. And he has a red mana up.
Yeah. So here we're like, we have a lot of cards in hand. We do have to be able to use our mana and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At least we're not playing the Force into a Daze. I think that's a big part of it, right? Is that they can't Daze the Force.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that even though it doesn't trade very well into Red Blast, the fact that you've drawn so many cards means that you have to go for this.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would have to discard anyway.
Yeah.
So we try it. He forces us back, which is fine.
That's hugely winning for us.
Yeah. That's a Brazen Borrower gone. Yeah.
And that's their one of, if you know their list, so they can no longer bounce Planeswalkers for the rest of the game.
And here comes the Pyroblast into hand and a Grafdigger's Cage. And we were like, alright.
Yeah, this is beyond stupid if you're playing Proxa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're actively helping us. We have one Sabine's Reclamation in our deck.
Yeah, and it only helps the second part of the Savines, not the first.
Yeah. That card does, I mean, less than nothing to us.
Yeah.
They shrunk their hand by one.
And we will see that later. They added the Grafdigger's Cage and Surgical Extractions as well, which is just stupid. Okay, so what do we do?
So yeah, so one of the other benefits of playing into Pyroblast there is that it clears the way for a Ashiok this turn, so they can't actually Pyroblast an Ashiok.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be our play.
Still leaving up the Wasteland.
Correct.
Is there a consideration of post Ashiok getting rid of his Volk?
After Ashiok getting rid of Volk, you could have done it. I think we could have done that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be unreasonable.
Yeah, just when I see it now, it would have made sense. Since he can't fetch anyway. And we know about the Pyroblast. That would have been probably a good call.
Yeah, but they decide to wait, and they've given us Stifle. So as you can see, they're never going to get this red mana.
Mm-hmm.
At least not for cheap.
So get down to Caracas.
We're playing the non-fetch land intentionally.
Yeah. To avoid his Stifle effects. That we know he probably has. But we have all the answers for whatever he wants to do. So Brainstorm, fine. And then he goes for the Ashiok. Fine. And this prompts a Wasteland on his Volk.
Yeah. And we're doing this Wasteland right here, right now, so that he can't daze it back.
Yeah.
Not efficiently, anyways.
And now he wants his red mana back, and then we just hit him with a Stifle.
We say pay 2 more cards. We want your Force of Will. We don't really care if he's able to grab another Volk. We just want him to pay 2 cards. He can't.
And now he's down to 1 mana, and we shark him, and it wastes his
this
Stifle.
Is shark targeting Stifle.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a nice 2-for-1.
Yeah. Congratulations, you will not get our mana, which was always the win con.
And here's our punt. So we get
yeah, this was a fun one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we get down the Teferi, and we debate a little bit about getting up the Grafdigger's cage or plussing, and we decide, okay, let's minus to nothing, and realizing, fuck, Narset's in play. Narset is a stupid fucking card.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it also doesn't matter.
No.
You don't play Lightning Bolt, you can't really profitably trade.
And here comes the dragon.
Yeah. So let's just have that legacy moment where we all admit to ourselves that Murktide is a card that needs to be banned, and there's no way that we could possibly beat this card, and it's so oppressive.
Yeah.
And just playing hard answers.
Yeah. Yeah, that problem is that everyone wants to play their 1 mana pushes and the bolts and whatever.
I mean, I get it, right? Like, it's tough when you've spent all of your last, 5, 6, 7 years tapping Mother of Runes to fog block, or using Querying on to block bounce, or Scrib Ranger to block bounce, or Ironwood Symbiote, when you've been using these soft answers to actual Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I get it. It sucks that you have to build against a power prep Tarmogoyf, but, play a hard answer.
Yeah. So here we had a choice between, since we plus the Teferi, we could either Verdict or Otavara. And we decided for the Otavara. What was the reasoning, or why would we do that one instead of the other?
Yeah. I think that Otawara plays better against land, dress down, Dreadnought is kind of what we're playing against right now.
Yeah. That's how we lose, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine, and it also means that his dragon is not coming down for a good while.
Yep.
Okay, so here comes a Scroll of Fate. And we say fine. And he, for some reason, does this sorcery speed.
I don't get it. D&T has been around for a long time. A lot of players have played D&T. Do you guys not understand that Ether Vial is instant? How did we forget this?
Yeah. So at this point we have Sevins plus Verdict mana up, so we feel kind of safe.
We also have Animate to block as a 7/7, right?
Yeah. So he attacks. Well, for some reason he lands yet another one, which is funny. Nope. This is just egregious. Yeah.
And to be fair, though, all of these punts aren't going to matter based on our next top deck.
Yeah. But here he's just we're just playing checking with him, see if he flips, and he does not. So we say fine. We don't need the bounce effect on Teferi. The plus effect is just as good. So here we get back the Ashiok. Yeah, you're right.
And that's one of the reasons that we're not casting Verdict, is because we can instant speed an Ashiok to counter a fetch land.
Yeah. And here's the Karn.
Yeah.
And we even have mana for both the Karn and the Verdict at the same turn.
Correct.
And since we have the Sevins in the graveyard, because we debated whether or not we should animate the Scroll of Fate or the Cage, and we decide that he has no way of killing Karn anyway, so Scroll is out of the game for the foreseeable future.
The only question is if you want to deal permanently with Scroll of Fate, but once you see there's a Brazen Borrow or an Exile, it's just what's the point?
Yeah.
It's never going to activate against Karn passive, and he can't bounce it anymore.
Yeah. So Karn down, uptick on the Cage, and that unlocks the Sevins for us. And just nuke his board.
Sure speed.
And then we nuke the graveyard. And as you can see, he's playing Surgicals. I mean, he has a lot of dead air in his deck.
Yeah, this is not a good look for him.
No.
Hey, look at that, guys. Ponder's a good Magic card.
Yeah. I mean, I get the temptation. I mean, it lets you cheat on lands, right? So that I guess that's why. And at this point, we are just so far ahead that we are just finding ways to meme on him, more or less.
Yeah.
So we get a liquid metal coating, get it down, set a stop in his upkeep.
Yep.
And get some more shit.
Another Pyroblast, two Pyroblast down, 2 to go.
He runs the full 4, probably.
Probably. Yeah, they're also in mortal danger of milling out at this time.
Yeah.
So even if they had Pyroblast, they couldn't go after Teferi. They'd have to go after Ashiok.
Yeah. And here we get back the Wasteland and the Hall of Storm Giants, I think.
Yep.
We could have gotten a standstill, but we figured it doesn't matter.
Yeah, standstill is just not necessary at this time.
Relic is also redundant, so we just hit him, kill his lands, and I think we whack him. No, we whack the Narset just to...
Yeah, just to send a message.
Yeah, clear the board. Well, I mean, we have 8 minutes, so we're kind of playing with our food. I don't even uptick or downtick my stuff. And yeah, and this is funny.
Let him know that it's a mirror match.
Yeah. We asked him. He never responded. And now we just get a Dreadnought and land the Humility and then the Dreadnought. Yep. Just for the giggles.
Yeah, and this is how you know that you're playing checkers when you play your Dreadnought deck.
Yeah.
We use Humility as a stifle. And we can just bounce the Humility and you're dead on your next turn. Yeah.
And that's it. So what are your thoughts on the matchup and the way to play Dreadnought and all that?
Again, like this is why you can't play Stiflenought strategies. That's not competitive. I understand that a number of legacy players drop the ball repeatedly and somehow let a Stiflenought deck top 8 a challenge and get second place. I don't know what you guys are doing in Legacy, but it's clearly not good enough. Figure it out, because it's not hard.
Yeah. No, and it's just... It seems like they're... I mean, Stiflenought plays into all kind of sorcery removal. And a sorcery speed Dreadnought is not that hard to remove.
Yeah. And in both games, he had a Scroll of Fate. He had his 1-of, which is literally his only way in his entire deck to beat anything that looks like an actual control deck. So, like...
Yeah.
What was he going to do to us with these ponders? What was he going to do with these expressive iterations? He was only ever going to try and win through combat. What did we do? We played lands and said, okay, make your sorcery speed threat. Show me.
Yeah, I think we have like 10, 12 ways of dealing with a sorcery speed Dreadnought, right? In the deck. I mean, there's just so many ways of doing it. It just seems mind-boggling to see. Do they run the Days Undoing as well?
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm. So that their one combo is hoping that there's no sorcery speed removal for their big shitters.
Yeah. It's just you can't play 2 Murktides and 2 Croxas and like 4 Dreadnoughts and think you have a deck. Like you have failed to overwhelm the amount of removal that Legacy plays.
But it's hard to understand how it could top 8 or do well in a challenge, though. I mean, how does it do it?
I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, I guess conceivably they could get lucky. You know, if you hit Delver with their deck, you probably have a pretty good matchup, right? You've got Wasteland and Stifle.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you could beat Delver pretty easily.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, yeah, and I guess Delver can't really deal with the Dreadnought as well.
Not really, no. I mean, if they want to bring in Meltdown, they're more than welcome to, but Meltdown's pretty bad against Scroll of Fate.
Mm-hmm.
you know, you just, oh, I'm going to melt down your Scroll of Fate. Okay, I'll put a Dreadnought in face down. Guess
Yeah.
what's not an artifact?
Yeah.
The Dreadnought.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this was a fun one. So I'll talk to you later, yeah?
Yep, sounds good.
GG's.
GG's.